to the It's a Sarah podcast. Today it is Friday, September 8th, 2023, and this is episode 102. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I love talking about my knitting and crochet so much that I make episodes twice a week. And I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English, but I make my episodes in Dutch and in English, so be sure you pick the right one. Okay, today I simplified my episode because I don't have a lot of time this Friday. I do have time to film the podcast, but I don't have time to edit it, so it will be a rough podcast episode without editing. Maybe I will put a little music under it at the beginning. Maybe I do have time for that. We will see. It is a special day today because my little girl, she's not so little. Yeah, she is little, but she's not so young. She's 13 years old. At her school, they go on a school camp the second week of the school after holiday when the school started, and she went on school camp this week. And every year has a special theme. She's going to a Waldorf school, and in her year, the third, or actually we call it the ninth. Oh, I hate it. It's not a Dutch. We don't have that combination in Dutch, and it's always feel a bit awkward when I make it a bit too obvious. So I'm sorry. But see, they went hiking this week. Hiking in Limburg. Limburg is a Dutch province. Do you call it province? Dutch state. Part of the Netherlands in the south. We don't have mountains in the Netherlands, but we do have some hills, and they are in the south. And they are hiking, backpacking with a big backpack, in which they have to carry everything, their own tent, all the sleep stuff, everything. And they also have to cook by themselves. They receive a little bit of money for the whole week, so they have to share it with the members of their group, the other children. The Dutch word is kinderen. The other kinderen. And they have to manage it all by themselves. And of course there are teachers with them, but they are watching from a distance. And they sleep together. They walk in small groups, and they sleep together with the whole class. And that's quite a challenge. So the theme of their year is it's about boundaries. Discover your boundaries and, how do you say it? Replace your boundaries. And it was a very, very, very hot week this week. It is always a challenge. They have to walk quite some kilometers every day, and that's a challenge for sure. But we had temperatures around 30 degrees, and it's quite hot for the Netherlands, so that was also a challenge. So I think boundaries are discovered this week. So I'm very looking forward to have her home today. We will pick her up this afternoon, and we have no idea. They were not allowed to bring their phones with them, and I think that's a very good idea. Really unplug, but it's not nice for the parents because we don't know anything. So I missed her, and it was a quiet week, and that was also for me. It was a special week because my youngest girl was not at home, and my other two kids and my husband, they were all busy with school and working. They had all quite long days, so I was alone at home for quite a while, and that was perfect timing because it was very warm weather. I am not good in warm weather. I'm hot temperatured by myself already. So when the sun is burning and the temperatures are raising, Sarah's becoming crazy. Now, so it was very nice to calm down. Also, I was having my period, and I my energy was very low and I had a little bit of pain in my stomach. Not a little bit, quite a lot actually. So it was the perfect week to slow down. I cancelled all my appointments and I did the things in the house, only the necessary things, and I went for a walk in the woods every morning and every evening with the dog, and the rest of the day it was just resting and knitting and doing all the things very slow, and it was very refreshing. It was really as if I was reloading my battery. So I was so tired, but now this morning I wake up early. I always wake up early, and I felt a little bit more energized. So I thought, oh, it's coming back, and yeah, that was really nice. I'm not sick quite often. I rarely. So I'm very lucky, but I can have low and high energies, and I think that's hormonal, and not every woman has it in the same amount, but my hormones are quite obvious, I guess. Ask my husband. So it was very nice to slow down. But because we will pick up my youngest girl this afternoon, I don't have time to edit. I usually do that on Friday afternoon. So this will be a rough episode, a rough version. And I thought, I will drink a cup of coffee with you. That's very cozy and very nice. But I just filmed my Dutch episode, and then I realized, I make 2 episodes, so I can have 2 cup of coffees this morning. I normally drink a cup of coffee in the early morning and late in the morning, and that's it. And I want to make one, and then I realized that it was quite late. It's 45 past 11 in the morning, and my husband is always home early on Friday. So I have a cup of water. We are having a cup of water together. It's also cozy. It's also nice. I really love water, especially when it's hot outside, cold water. But there was no time for making another cup of coffee. So I just want to sit and chat a little bit. I picked some things I want to talk about, and that's it for today. And I think that's very relaxing and enjoyable. So I really love the editing stuff, but every now and then make an easy, simple episode is also very nice. It is a bit as if we are friends and I am visiting you or you are visiting me, actually, because I'm on the couch. This is the coolest place in our house at the moment, because it's so warm, and it's quite warm for a few days. It's not, usually it's not so warm in this time of the year. I must say it's better than in June or July or August, because the days are getting shorter. It's cooling down earlier. The sun is coming up later, and it's going down. It's going under earlier. So the evenings and the nights, they are not really cold, but there's no sun. So that makes a difference. But it's quite hot for a few days now, and it will be for a few days. And our house, we don't have a very cold house, but it was good. It was actually quite nice inside with the windows and doors closed. We don't have an air conditioning. More and more people in the Netherlands have it, but we don't need one. It is not quite hot very often, and when it is, we just slow down and put on the fan. That's how it's called. Do I remember it correctly? The fan. In Dutch we say ventilator. I put it off now because I think the background noise is too annoying, too obvious. But I will put it on in a minute. So and then it's perfectly fine, and we can sleep well, so there's no problem. But in my knitting office, my bedroom, the sun is there the whole morning. It's way too hot right now. And also at the kitchen table, I put the sunscreen down, so maybe it's a little bit dark. I don't know, actually. Yeah, but it's also a warm place, and here it's okay. And this is my favorite knitting spot. It's been a while since I sat here, I guess, but this is my evening knitting spot on the couch, a corner of the couch, and I have all my stuff around me and a nice lamp. I really thought that lamp was not the good word, that it was not the good English word. And I know lamp, a little baby sheep, is with a B, but lamp with a P is just the same as in Dutch, only we say lamp. It's quite nice. So this is my favorite knitting spot for the evenings, and I feel really nice, surrounded by all the nice things. But I only worked quite monogamous. Again, I said it right. Quite monogamous at this knitting project, my sock cardigan. It's a test knit for a Dutch knitter, it's her first design, and it's going very well. I put it on yesterday when it was still cold in the morning to fit, and it did go much easier than when I fit in my episode on Monday, when I was struggling with the cord Jonna sent to me. I read so many comments about the cord, and I really... I didn't give it up. Absolutely, I didn't give it up, because I really think it was the combination of the small needles and the thin yarn, and I also read some suggestions how I could improve it, but I think it will be perfect for thicker yarn, so I absolutely will try it again. And it was also fun to read that I'm not the only impatient person. I'm not the only impatient knitter. So it was, I always read all the comments, and I really enjoy them. I don't reply. It's just, it takes too much of my time, but I really enjoy reading all the comments. So thank you for that. Yeah, it was really nice. There are quite some things imperfect on this cardigan, and that's interesting what I'm feeling about it, because I'm practicing my imperfectionism. So it's a good challenge, but when I put it on, it was really a heart jumping moment. Although it was way too warm, I really could see me very happy when I will wear this cardigan when it's finished. And the end is near. So I really love that. And I absolutely am thinking about casting on another one in non-superwash yarn, because I regret that. I think I regret that. I can wear it on my skin, on my bare skin right now, so that's positive. But I think the color work with superwash yarn is not very nice. And I also read in the comments someone was asking what's the difference about non-superwash and superwash yarns, because I'm a new knitter, I don't know exactly. I'm not an expert, and I think you can find very interesting videos about it on YouTube, but the non-superwash, maybe I can say the superwash yarn is treated in a way, you can say, when you say it very simple, that there's a layer of plastic around it, which makes you can wash the garment easier, and it's more accessible for children clothes and washing and all. So that sounds positive. But when you are adding a plastic layer to such a beautiful fiber, you lose the quality of the fiber and the special feeling of the fiber. So when I wear a non-superwash woolen garment, it really feels different than when I wear a superwash woolen garment. And I didn't know the difference before, but since I know the specialty of non-superwash yarn, I really prefer that. It's just a layer of love, and that's different with superwash yarn. So I absolutely prefer that. But in one way, I still grab the superwash yarns. I worked for Lang Yarns, that's all superwash yarns, and so I had quite some in my stash, and I save my precious non-superwash yarns forever, and that's absolutely something I want to change. Yeah. But also, when you knit color work, non-superwash yarns, they flow in together, the stitches. It becomes one part. There is no plastic layer around the yarn, around the thread. So they can stick in together, the colors and the stitches, and it's really lovely. And that's not happening here. And I knew that, but still I ordered superwash yarns because that's who I am, I guess. I know things, but I need several experiences before I change my behavior, I guess. It's not a bad thing. It's just a Sarah thing. Okay. What I also did was I made a little change to my crochet top. Oh, I forgot to tell you what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my Remy camisole. It's a pattern by Kadri. It's one of my favorite summer garments. I made it last year. This year I knitted a second one in black cotton. This is also a superwash cotton, and I guess with tencel. It is a Langyarn yarn. I'm not very... it doesn't stay beautiful, I think. It's good, but it's not beautiful. And I knitted with 100% cotton, but that was a worsted weight. The pattern is meant to be for a DK weight, and that was worsted weight, and I knitted it a bit stiff. And a black one, I really love to wear it, and I wear it quite often. But I want to knit another one, a third one next summer with this yarn. This is a cotton yarn by Novita, and I really love the look of it and the feel of it. So I don't know if it has a special name, but I really love it. This yarn I bought at a lovely, lovely, lovely yarn shop in Friesland. That's in the north of the Netherlands when we were on holiday there. And the shop is called Selden Sa. I really love it. And I made it also on my holiday. I crochet this top. This is the Rumors vest. I told a lot about this pattern. It's by the Iron Lamp, and it was my favorite summer crochet pattern. But I planned to add a knitted border to this one, a 2x2 rib. So I created some longer straps, shoulder straps, and a deeper neckline. So there was a little bit of space for a knitted border. But when we were on holiday, I was offline, and I did pick up the stitches, and I was struggling with the V-shaped neckline. I always use a nice video for that, but I was offline, so I couldn't find it, and I didn't have access to it. I removed all the apps from my phone, and it was okay. But then I really want to finish it, so I ripped out the knitted stitches and I added the scalloped edge, as the pattern tells you. But it was the shoulder straps were a little bit too loose, so they were falling off my shoulder a little bit. But Claudine has a very nice suggestion in her pattern to fix that. She says when there's too much stress somewhere, you can add, before you do the scalloped edge, you can add a row of chains. I don't know if that's the good term. The smallest crochet stitch. So you actually do a row of chains over the stitches. In Dutch we call it halve vasten. I don't know how you call it in English and in the USA terms, but US terms. But the pattern is available in English. When you buy the pattern, you can choose to download an English, a UK version or a US version. So it is all explained very well. So I ripped out the scallop border yesterday, and I added the chain row, and then I crocheted again the scallop border only on the inside of the neckline, not at the armholes. And you can see there's no stretch, so you can see the difference, I guess, because it's a bit this shape, because here is not the chain row and here it is. So you can feel it very well. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but here's a lot of stretch, and on this side there is no stretch. So I think it's very clever, and it was enough to only do it here. Sometimes I only do it at the shoulder straps, but now I chose to do it all around, because also at the back it was a bit wide, And yeah, it really worked out pretty good. So I think I will wear this tomorrow. Tomorrow I have another knitting event in the place. I live in the south, no, not in the south, in the middle south of the Netherlands, and in a medium town. And the next medium town next to us, there is a knitting event. It's called the Knit and Nut. Beurs is a Dutch knit and nut event. And it's not very big, but it's on a very nice place, a very old place, an hall. Do you call it hall? Hall? In an old hall? I don't know if that's right. And there are all kinds of stands with all the yarns and all the other woolly things. So I will visit it with some knitting friends, and I really am looking forward to that. And we will have a picnic, I guess, in the park later, so we can do some knitting and chatting together. Of course, I will try to film, maybe a little bit more than last week. It's always quite out of my comfort zone to film in public, but I am practicing it, so I will try to do it tomorrow, so you can see it this Monday. And I love to wear my crochet top. My linen dresses are better with this temperature because it's a little bit more airy than a fitted top with a camisole under it. But I think it's really nice to wear a knitted or crocheted item when you are going to such an event. So I will do that. Okay. Then I also crochet a little cacti. I did it, no, a cactus. Cacti is the multiply, I think. I just made one. I only made one. I have a big basket with sock yarn scraps, and I was adding this green to my Ariana cardigan, to a square for my Ariana sweater, I must say. And then I realized that it was much thicker than the other yarns. This is a sport weight left over. So I thought, okay, it was too obvious. You can do it, use them next to each other, but this one was really too obvious. So I made a little cactus from it. And I just cast it on, it's crochet, you can knit it as well, but I just cast it on, I think 20 stitches or maybe 15, I don't know. I don't follow pattern for these little cacti quite often. I just have my own recipe, I guess. So I cast it on 15 or 20 chains, and I made vaste double crochets, single crochets. I think US is single crochet and UK is double crochet. And then in the back loop, so you have a little bit of a ripped stitch, a ripped fabric. And then when my yarn, when I used all the yarn, I sew it, the seams together. So I had a cylinder, and then I thread a yarn. How do you say it? In Dutch we say rijgen. I woven in a thread at the I woven in a thread at the top, and then you tie it together so you create this this. Oh, this is very awkward. And then I made some sorrel, and I have my recipe for that. And in the Dutch episode, I was searching and searching for it, and took all the time. But I hope it will go a little bit faster right now, because I know it's in the... yes, here it is. This is my sorrel recipe. I always use these little terracotta pots, and you have them in all the sizes, I buy them in garden shops and sometimes in thrift shops, and I really love this color. So I measure the diameter, is that English? At the top, and then I know how I have to do to make a perfect matching sorrel. I'm not an amigurumi crocheter. I don't like it. I can't do it. It's always messy. But I really love doing this because it's a lot of counting, and I know it's not especially necessary to count, but I do count, and that makes it a really mindful activity. So I make a magic loop, and then I crochet 6 stitches, and then I make 12, so I increase and every stitch, and the next round I increase every other stitch, and the next round I increase every other stitch, and then because I've written it down how many stitches I need, I just have to look and have to count, and then it's easy peasy, and I love easy peasy. So this one only needs a little flower on top, but that didn't happen. So I do have a new one next to me. It is also a scrap yarn linen, I guess. So I will make a little one. I don't know if it will be in a little pot or a bigger pot. It would be nice when it's all filled with this. So I really love making plants. It's really satisfying. Okay, then I got a lot of questions if I will join the mystery knit along this year, and I won't. I joined the mystery knit along for the first time in 2021, and for the second time in 2022. The mystery knit along is a knit along organized by Stephen West, and I think it's all familiar. West knits. Stephen has the most beautiful designs. If I'm correct, Stephen is an American living in the Netherlands, and he co-owns a very popular yarn shop in Amsterdam, Stephen and Penelope. I never visited. I don't come in Amsterdam quite often, but I will once. I definitely will, but it never happened. But he creates the most amazing designs, and I really think they are very special. I never joined the mystery knit along because I think his designs for his shawls and for a lot of other things he makes are quite extravagant. Is that a word? I think they are beautiful, but they are not matching my style. I think I have more a traditional knitting style. So I never felt the need to join the mystery knit along, but 2 years ago, I don't know, I just was influenced by all the enthusiasm online, I guess. So the mystery knit along was already started, and then I decided, I want to join anyway, and I just searched for some yarns in Stash. I even dyed some yarn my own. I don't do that anymore, but I did. And I made this color combination. I don't know what the names of the mystery knit alongs again. And I did have so much fun knitting this. The pattern was really genius, and all the videos, they were fun, and they were... every time I saw such a shawl, I thought, I never can knit such a thing. It looks so hard, but it wasn't hard. Stephen is so relaxed and so motivating, and it was really inspiring that when you cut something which seems very difficult just in small pieces, it is just a knit and a purl stitch. So it was very inspiring, and I was really enjoying it. It was really, 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 really fun. But I only wear it once. It's just not... I think it's beautiful, but not something I wear. But nevertheless, next year in 2022, I had no doubt. It was clear I would join again because I had so much fun, and it was actually, for me, I'm quite a product knitter. I'm always focused on the product, something I can wear or I can use. And knitting the mystery knit along was definitely a process knit, especially this one, because I knew I wouldn't wear it. So again, I dived into my stash and I made a color combination, and it blew out. When I washed it, there was quite some bleeding, but in a nice way, so in a steady way. So this color was much lighter and off-white, but the brown created a little bit more of a beige, and I think that was very nice because the contrast was a little bit high, and now it isn't anymore. So I definitely knew this would be a process knit because the chance was quite big I would never wear it, and I did never wear it. And I really loved knitting it. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed all the new techniques and all the things, and I also enjoyed the process of finishing it in the time. It's absolutely not a must. You can knit as long as you want to, but I really love to challenge myself, and some people are wondering why would you do that, but I think challenge yourself every now and then. It's not for everyone, but it's good. And some people are running a marathon, for example, and I would never run a marathon. I don't like running, and that's typical. It is something I think, why would you do that? But I challenge myself by knitting something big in a short amount of time, and it feels really satisfying. Not for always, but you're also not always running a marathon. You do it every now and then. So I really love that. But I never wear it, and I also felt last October is always quite a busy month for me, and also one of the first autumn months. So I feel all the inspiring for autumn, and I really want to knit all the things. Don't know when, don't know how, but I want it. So I don't want to spend so much of my knitting time on something I won't wear. And I saw last summer Stephen organized a mystery sock knit along for the first time, and it was not the right moment for me to join. But when I was thinking about it, I thought, I hope he will do that again next year. So I will definitely join that because socks, I think I would wear socks in his style. I would wear them, I guess, and they are smaller, and I also think the timing is better for me in summer than in October. So but if you are joining, I must confess, when I see all the pictures with all the gradient yarns and all the color combinations, something is sparkling inside me. So I was sitting on my couch yesterday, and I was scrolling to Instagram, and then I thought, let me take a look in my own yarn stash if I can make a nice color combination. So I was walking to my desk in which I stored all my yarn, and then I realized, no, stop, don't go there, because I don't know if I would find a beautiful color combination. If the next step would be buy the pattern, and then the next step would be knit the shawl, and I don't want it. So I'm again training my self-discipline with the mystery knit along. Only this year I'm training it by not knitting it. Last year I was training it by knitting it in a short amount of time, in a specific amount of time. This year I'm training my self-discipline by not joining the mystery knit along. I really love training my self-discipline by through my knitting and crochet. But if you are joining, I wish you a lot of pleasure. I think it starts in the beginning of October, so you have some time to think about it. But I won't join. I promise. Okay, I received one lovely thing in the mail. This beautiful pencil case. We call it an étui. Again, a French word, I guess. And it's a quilted one, and maybe you recognize when you watch my episodes often, you recognize the quilt, because I have a lovely project bag quilted. It is made by a Belgian lady. Her name is Mieke. On Instagram she's called Quilting Mieke. I don't do show notes today because I don't have the time for it, but I mentioned her earlier before, and she sent me, it was a surprise, I didn't know, she sent me this lovely quilty etui with a elastic strap at the back, so you can put it on your knitting notebook and you always have your pencil with you, and I think that's quite genius. I really love it. It keeps my my book together, and I can put my pencil in it. And she knows I love brown, so there's a brown elastic and a brown zipper, and all the lovely fabrics, and a brown crochet flower and a brown button. It was such a nice surprise. So thank you, dear Mieke. It was heart jumping. Okay. I think I told everything, and I expect my husband home within a few minutes, I guess. I'm not quite sure, but I made it before he interrupted me, and that wouldn't be a problem, but I think it's nice that I'm ready in time. Yeah, I will, when you are looking this episode, I'm cuddling with my youngest girl because she's home already. I will pick her up this afternoon and listen to all her stories. And then tomorrow I will visit the knitting event and I will show you all this Monday. I hope I have some more content than last week. I wish you a very nice weekend with hopefully a heart-jumping moment, maybe more. And thank you for watching. I see you Monday. Bye bye.